Hi, Kaisar. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you, sir? By the way, good
I'm well.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And am I pronouncing your name correctly? Is it Kaisar? Kaisar? How do you pronounce your name?
Yeah, you are pronouncing rightly, sir. Kaisar.
Kaisar. Okay, Kaisar. All right. Sure. So we are meeting for the first time, isn't it?
Absolutely, sir.
Right. So let's get to know you a little. Where. Tell me where are you from? What do you do?
Sir, my name is Kaisar Firoz. I am from Jharkhand. My city is called Bokaro Steel City.
Hmm.
By profession, I am an English language trainer.
Okay.
I run my own institute. I have got around 50 students.
Sure.
I teach basic English. I want to work on my advanced English.
Hmm. Sure, why not? Of course. You're most welcome to have advanced English speaking skills, and everyone deserves, especially an English trainer, definitely deserves. Sure. All right, yes, sir. So let's begin with your assignment. By the way, I'm Madhav Anand. I'm from Delhi, and as you can see, I'm your tutor for this session. I'm a public speaking coach and communications mentor. That's about it. Let me
So,
check your assignment. Yeah, you're saying something? Tell me.
yes, sir, before we move to our assignment, may I
Yeah,
ask you something?
yeah. Tell me.
Can you share your journey, sir? How did you start learning English? How long did you take to get better in this language?
Yeah, yeah. How did I start my journey? Of course, I can give some credit to my parents that may sent me to an English medium school. So it started with that. But unfortunately, our school never had an environment of English. So we all spoke in the local languages, except for the teachers who, when they were teaching, they were using English language. But apart from that, 90% of the time, we never spoke in English, unfortunately. So it started with that. But how I helped myself, I would say that I was lucky and fortunate to be born in an age when there was no internet, right? So
Yes,
whatever little resource we had, like DD National was the only channel, the only television channel. So the only way to learn English was to listen to English news that came once in a day at around 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., right? So I would listen very carefully. Like whatever the news speaker, news reader was speaking, I would listen very carefully and I would write words and all of that. Plus, English commentary, cricket English commentary. So listening to English commentary also. Now, you may think that, okay, all this is available now also, but now children have a lot of options and they don't have an urgency, right? But then there was an urgency because if you lose those 20 minutes of news, then you lose the whole day. So you have to be very
absolutely.
sincere and very keen about listening to it. So lack of resources is a great way to get better at your job. When you have a lot of resources, when everything is available, you don't care about anything. But when you have very little available to you, you give a lot of emphasis on it, and then you get more out of it. When you gain more out of it, isn't it? Makes
Absolutely.
sense,
Yes,
right?
sir. So, how long did it take to be get better at the place you are right now to reach here?
It's taken a whole life.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
not that.
why did I raise this question, sir? Why did I raise this question? As being trainer,
Hmm.
this is my responsibility to make my students
Hmm.
understand.
Yeah.
There are so many institutions, teachers, they claim to teach English within 3 months. Suppose that a learner is completely beginner, doesn't know anything about English language. Does it possible to learn English within 3 months, sir? What do you think about it?
No, it's a lie. It's a lie. No one can learn a new language or as a beginner to become fluent in 3 months. You can get some concepts, you can get some clarity, you can get a roadmap that, okay, this is all I have to do. In 3 months, you can do that. But if you're already an advanced speaker and you just want to polish the tops, you just want to polish the tops, you just want to improve your vocab, then okay, 3 months are good enough.
Yes,
If you're an
yes,
intermediate learner, you need at least 6 months to get to a spot, right? 6 to 8 months, 6 to 9 months, 6 to 10 months, somewhere between 6 months to 1 year as an intermediate. As a absolute beginner, it will easily take 1 to 2 years. Easily take 1 to 2 years, because just learning the fundamentals is not enough. The fluency that you build, that comes through time, repeated practice, and repeated practice will take time. Advanced learners 3 to 6 months, intermediate learners 6 months to 1 year, absolute beginners 1 to 2 years, right? But
Absolutely.
see, the truth is that as a teacher, you can't tell people that it is going to take you 2 years. No one will come to your class.
Absolutely.
That is why teachers they say कि 3 महीने में fluent बना देंगे, right? That is why.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's also a marketing tactic. Let's be honest about it. Right? It all and also all these numbers that I'm quoting depends on the student, right?
Absolutely, sir.
Right?
Totally
Depends on
agree.
the student. Someone may grow very fast. Someone may take a very long time. Everyone has their own, pace of learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
that would be
sir,
enough answer.
should I add something here, if you
Yeah,
permit me?
please. Sure, sure. Please add.
Yeah, actually, sir, why did I raise this question? Let me be frank with you.
Yeah.
Couple of years back, I
Hmm.
was a welder.
Hmm.
I was a welder. I used to weld. I worked in Saudi Arabia as well as Dubai.
Right.
When I was in Saudi Arabia, sorry, when I was in Dubai, I met with an accident.
Okay.
Met with an accident. I got admitted to a hospital. That's where either I had to speak in English language or in Arabic. I
Okay.
knew none of them.
Hmm.
That's where I got to know importance of English language.
Yeah.
After coming back from there, I thought to learn English. I went to an institute. I spent there 3 months.
Correct.
Within 3 months, I learned nothing.
Right.
I got to know something about English language, where to use do, where to use is MR, where to use does, something like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I was not able to communicate with anybody.
Okay.
I
All right.
was not able to have a conversation.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I started self practice.
Right.
I used to practice 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours according to the need.
Wow.
So
Lovely.
what I noticed that the more I practice,
Hmm.
the better I got. The
Correct.
better I got. Sorry, sir, my screen got blurred. I don't know. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
But I can't see you. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, right now I can see you.
Okay. All right.
So what I noticed, sir, during my journey, if
Hmm.
you really want to be a good speaker of English language,
Yes.
anyhow, you have to practice.
Correct.
There is no shortcut to learn.
No alternative. Also, there's no alternative. Also.
Yeah. Another thing what I noticed that environment matters a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. The place where I belong to, there is no environment of English language.
Hmm. Hmm.
We most of the students complete their studies from Hindi medium background.
Okay.
they they know nothing about English language, but they want to speak English language within 3 months.
Hmm.
So I want you to highlight some points, sir,
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
order to improve our English language.
Right.
Which aspects of English do we need to work on?
Hmm. Yeah. Now again, it is getting divided into three different parts. Someone who is an absolute beginner will have to learn the basics of sentence construction, correct? But
Yes,
without
sir.
making it too complicated, like subject, verb, agreement, and all of that, without getting too much into that, start with sentences right away. Okay. So let's say how to use is, where to use does, where to use do, right? How to use could have, would have, should have, right? Get the basics of the parts of a sentence basic without getting into too much technical details through more like, what do you call it, more like examples, instead of too much of theoretics. Too many examples, give as many examples as possible, correct? Let's say you want to use teach someone the use of could have, would, should have, would have, couldn't have, wouldn't have, shouldn't have. Give so many examples that the child gets used to. Okay, yes, use of that, yes, use of that. Even if that child doesn't know anything about subject, predicate, object, doesn't know anything about it, Ultimately, speaker of a language doesn't have to remember the grammar. He or she has to remember the form. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's say someone's mother language is Hindi or Bhojpuri or Santali or whatever, right? That person really doesn't know the Vyakran. He knows really nothing about it. Now, if I ask my
Yes, sir.
grandmother about tell me the Vyakran in Hindi, will she know anything? No. But can she speak fluent Hindi? Yes, of course, because that's her language. How did she get to learn that language? Because remembering the form of the sentence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So more examples, less theory, little theory. Just one time, two times you say, okay, this is the verb, this is the agreement, this is how you form a sentence. Just do it once or twice. Don't get into the but give lots of examples. Right? Instead of two examples, give 10 examples. That will create the environment within the mind. Okay, this is how we use. This is how we use. Let's say you are in Jharkhand. If you are getting a job in Gujarat, right, and it's a good, well-paying
Yes.
job and everything, but the only catch is that you have to learn Gujarati. In 1 year time, you have to learn Gujarati. Will you say that no, I will not learn the? Of course, you'll say yes, I will learn it. I'm getting a good salary. I have to go there. How will you learn? Will you do all the vyakran and all of that? No. You'll start listening.
Yes, sir.
Right? You'll start listening. What will you say? पानी लाने अच्छा पानी लाने को कैसे बोलते हैं, right? So you learn that. Hey, बैठ जाओ. सुनो मेरी बात सुनो. So you'll just listen to the sentence and you'll start repeating that in Gujarati, right? Once you get used to that sentence 10 times, it becomes easy for you. It becomes normal for you. So instead of doing that, what we're doing in our coaching classes, we are teaching all that grammar repeatedly. The child will not understand. The child wants to know how to say, may I come in, sir? May I come in, sir, has a subject, has a predicate, has a noun, has a pronoun. We don't need to know all of that. I'm not against it. I'm only trying to, shorten the time of learning. Because if you learn the grammar basics, that's going to take a lot of time. And till the
Yeah,
age
absolutely.
of 15, 16, that's a different thing. After the age of 16, it becomes very difficult to learn grammar,
Yes, sir.
right?
Totally agree, sir.
Right. So
Indeed.
instead of getting into a lot of grammar, minimize grammar, maximize use cases,
Yeah, absolutely.
use of use.
Yeah,
That makes a
absolutely,
big
sir.
difference.
Yeah, actually, sir, as I told you earlier, I mentioned that I want to work on my advanced English.
Yeah.
So, can you give me a hint, sir? I'm working on my advanced English,
Hmm.
but living with those people who know basic English.
Yeah.
Does it matter or not? Does it matter or not, sir?
It matters, but you can always create your own environment. For example, here you are now here at EnglishYaari, or you're watching an English movie, or you're listening to English news, or you are reading some good English articles. This is creating your own environment, your own mental environment. Right? So you
Yeah,
can.
but does it work, sir, when we have conversation with some advanced speaker like you? Does it work?
It works more than anything else. It works more than anything else.
Yeah,
Actual practice, real practice is always better than passive practice. Watching a video, movie, television is all passive way of practicing. Active practice is when you actually do it with someone, correct? Because when someone speaks in a certain way, you start subconsciously, we start copying it. In a
yeah,
subconscious manner, we start copying it. And when you do that more and more, you get used to it more and more. Right? So yes, it of course helps. It definitely does.
yes, sir. You must have seen some people who are doctors, engineers. During their studies, they read English, they write English, but when it comes to speaking in front of people, they get stuck,
Yeah,
they get fumbled. Why does it happen, sir? Then,
because they never had the opportunity to speak in English. You being a doctor or an engineer or whatever, did it give you the opportunity to speak in English? No. Until and unless you spoke in English. Okay, let's understand language from the basics. Language is sounds produced by spoken language is sound produced by our articulators with the help of our brains, with the brain signals. What are articulators? Your tongue, your teeth, your lips, your vocal cords, your voice box. These are articulators. Okay. So our articulators are used to produce a certain type of sound, familiar sound. What are those sounds? Bhojpuri sounds, Santali sounds, English sounds, Hindi sounds, right? Whatever that familiar sound is, we produce that sound because our brain is used to listening to that. If you want to create a different sound can be Gujarati, can be English, can be Portuguese, can be Arabic, right? If you want to create a different sound, you have to feed your brain with that sound, and whatever you fed your brain, the brain will give command to this particular area of your body. Now, once it gives commands, it will not do it immediately. It has to do it 10 times, 20 times, 50 times to get used to it. Yeah. So, if a doctor or an engineer does not have that environment or that practice of producing English sounds, he or she will fumble. It doesn't matter whether you're a qualified doctor, you may be the best surgeon, but if you don't have exposure to that language, you will not speak that language. Now, someone in China or someone in Japan or Russia or France, those people don't speak English at all, right? They may be the best
Yeah.
surgeon, maybe best scientist, so what? But if you don't have the exposure to that language, then you don't have that exposure to that language, correct? So
Yes.
qualification has got nothing to do with language proficiency. Language proficiency comes from listening, speaking. That's it. If you never got that opportunity, whether you're a doctor, scientist, doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. One question is more, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
So you might have met some people who claim that they know everything about English language, but when they try to speak in English language, their mind go blank. Does it happen, sir? Do you feel like that? Mind can go blank?
Depends on the situation. You may be a very good speaker, genuinely a very good speaker, but let's say you are facing someone who is better than you. Then suddenly you may feel like, oh my god, people have an image about me that I am a good speaker, but there is someone speaking better than me. So you become insecure. Your insecurity will make you feel unsafe. And when you feel unsafe, you go blank. It can happen. It can happen. It's not
Okay. But
impossible, but
as far as I am concerned about during my journey, what I have found that our minds don't go blank. What actually happens? Fear generates. Fear generates in our brain that make us block. Sorry, that make us blank. Fear of being judged, fear of failure, fear of doing better. That make us blank. We don't understand what to speak, what not to speak. Am I right or wrong, sir? What do you think?
you're right. You're right. You have explained the cause. I've only explained the effect. You have explained the
Okay.
cause behind it. So yeah, it's okay.
Yes,
Ultimately,
sir.
ultimately, when you go blank, then you go blank. What doesn't matter what your cause is, whether it's fear, whether it's insecurity, whatever you give it a name you want. But ultimately, if you're going blank, then you're going blank. That is the effect. That is what people are seeing in front of you.
Sir, I really want to be a public speaker. In order to be a public speaker, what am I supposed to do, sir? What are the activities that I need to do?
Practice speaking like the ones you idolize. Let's say you idolize Shashi Tharoor, or you idolize Shah Rukh Khan, or you idolize any good speaker. Start imitating their style. Imitating does not mean that you are doing as, but you are getting inspired by them. We all get inspired. I like to listen to Vivek Ramaswamy. You know who is Vivek Ramaswamy? He's a
Yeah.
Republican candidate in the United States.
Yes.
Right? So I like the way he speaks. So that does not mean that I'm going to copy him. But when I look at him speaking, I feel like, wow, what a wonderful way of pressurizing a word or emphasizing a word. These techniques you start learning from others, and then what you do, you start practicing in front of your selfie camera. Switch on your selfie camera, record, Do it for 1 minute in the beginning, then 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. Take it up to 5 to 7 minutes. Right? We start with 1 minute. For the first 50 times, you will be embarrassed by your own performance. First
Absolutely.
50 first 50 times, delete the video, forgive yourself, but keep learning the lessons that you're learning. Yeah. So first
So,
50
sir,
videos. Hmm. Yeah, tell me.
yeah, actually, time is going to be over very soon. So,
Yeah,
I have a last question. What
sure.
do you think about fluency? There are some people who think that speaking fast is fluency.
No, no, wrong. Absolutely wrong. Fluency is ability to speak without taking time to think, right? If you're thinking in
Yes,
your mind and then translating and then speaking, that means you're still working on your fluency. If you don't have to think and your mind, anyway, every one of us thinking, but there is no gap between thinking and speaking, when that gap is filled up, bridged, that is fluency. If you're thinking first and then you're translating and then you're speaking, then there is no fluency. It has got nothing to do with fast or slow. I can be a very slow speaker, but I'm not thinking before speaking. It's just happening simultaneously. When thinking and speaking are simultaneous, it is fluency. Fast is not equal to fluent. Wrong.
Okay, sir. I have asked so many questions
Sure,
before
you're
and
most welcome.
before ending the session. Would
Yeah,
you like to give me a feedback?
sure, of course. My feedback for you is you've just started your journey, right? There is nothing called quick hack. There is nothing called quick hack. Start working on the basics first. I see some grammatical errors while you're speaking. So do some exercises, not reading of grammar, not going to grammar books. So do as directed, download some do as directed from the internet, right? Do as directed worksheets. Solve those do as directed on a daily basis, 10-15 minutes, not more than that, right? Brush up your grammar so that you don't make those mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
Don't work on theory, just work on practicing grammar. Okay, that will be helpful.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your best
Anything else?
compliments that I have ever had, sir.
You deserve all of it, right? Your journey from a welder to a English trainer and doing everything on your own, it's commendable. It's absolutely commendable.
Thank
Someone who
you very much,
started,
sir.
yeah, someone who started at an English medium school and someone who started from the ground zero have completely different journeys. It's not how far you have come, it's where you started, right? If you are
Yes,
sitting
sir.
on top but you started at the 99th floor, then your journey is just one floor. But someone who started from ground zero and has come to that fifth floor has traveled 5 floors. So that person's journey is much more exemplary than someone who's sitting at the 100th floor. I think
Yeah.
that we have done
Actually, sir,
a long way.
when I started my journey, I knew nothing about English language.
Absolutely.
I knew nothing. I completed my studies from Hindi medium background. Even I didn't have English environment in my society.
Yes.
When
Yes.
I started learning, nobody thought I
Hmm.
would be able to speak in English language ever.
Hmm.
I I not only learned English but teaching also.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm saying. That you have come a long way with very little resources, and that's what is important, right? Sure.
okay, sir. I think time is over now.
Yeah, yeah, it's over. All right, Kaisar. Good to have you. Hope to see you again. Thank
Thank,
you. Bye bye.
yes, sir. Thank you very much having me here, sir. Thank you very much.
Sure, sure. Bye,
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye bye. Have a great day ahead.
Same to you. Same.